Welcome to Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Expert advice on improving your home from the pages of Today's Homeowner magazine and professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
You know, being a remodeling contractor, I get a lot of phone calls from homeowners that need a little extra space in their home, particularly closet space. Well, most of the time we have to build an addition to satisfy this need, but occasionally we'll find an attic space like we have here that we can convert to a walk-in closet that'll be accessible from the master bedroom that's on the second floor as well. We'll take a look at that, and we'll talk with an interior designer who's worked with the homeowners on reallocating some space they were not using in their master bedroom and converting it into some valuable space for the master bathroom that's being remodeled. Plus, later we'll look at a cultured marble manufacturing facility and showroom, show you how cultured marble is made and why it continues to be a real popular choice for bathroom remodelings. Stay with us, we have a full show for you. Now we're in the upstairs master bedroom area I was telling you about, and this is like ground zero for all of the remodeling that's taking place on the second floor. And on this side of the bedroom is the new walk-in closet that we're building. On the other side is the master bathroom that's being remodeled. But before any work started, we covered everything up real well, including the floors, some nice canvas runners here, and also rolled back all of the carpet and the pad that was in the bedroom, covered it up, keep all of the dust out of it. We plan on reusing that once the job's completed. Also, the homeowners left several pieces of furniture in that we grouped together and covered all of that with plastic as well. Once the remodeling project's over, we'll take all of this down, bring some maids in to clean the area up real well before we turn it over to the homeowners. Now, to provide access from the bedroom into the closet area, we built just a small 2-foot frame, which 2-foot door usually is sufficient for access into a walk-in closet. Then we had to work with the sloped ceiling section, building a framework very similar to what you would have in a dormer leading out into an attic space, which is exactly what we've done here in creating this walk-in closet from what was before just attic space. Now, we were lucky here in that we had a good substantial subfloor. That's where you always need to start in your evaluation of an attic space, is to make sure that floor system is sufficient for walking over it. You may want to consult with a remodeling contractor or a building contractor to give you some advice on that subfloor. Now, once we were able to remove some of the center supports that we had originally, we really didn't need them anymore since we built the sidewalls. Now, the sidewalls were built at 48 inches tall so that a full sheet of drywall would fit perfectly against this wall. Now, we're in the process now of installing some of the fiberglass insulation that'll go around on the sidewalls to insulate this area, and we do plan on running some air conditioning heat work, duct work into this area to keep it from getting too hot or too cold during the changes in the temperature. Also, overhead we'll be putting in insulation that'll allow a small airspace to remain between the decking and the top of the insulation so that we can get good ventilation on up into the flat area that we have up above us here. That'll allow the ventilation to continue on through to the main attic space. That way no moisture or excessive heat buildup will occur in this new master closet. Now, once all of the drywall that'll be in, once it's completely finished, installed and finished, they'll come in and install the closet rods, which will be at the 5-foot level. Closet rod down each side, and that way the little access doors that we've built into the wall will be able to be reached and get in here for extra storage, as the homeowners have already started doing. Now, on the back wall we'll have a large space here, and the interior designer has decided to have us build some shelving sections right in here for good storage of shoes, sweaters, handbags, almost anything along those lines. Now, an interior designer plays an important role in a project like this where you're really trying to maximize every square foot you have on the interior of your house. Marisa Smith has done a great job in working with the homeowners, and when we come back from the Simple Solution segment, we'll talk with her about the importance of her role in this project.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair pro Alan Lyle show you this week's simple solution.
This week on Simple Solutions, we're in the shop and we're talking table saws.
Now, a table saw can be one of the most useful tools you have in the workshop, but also it can be one of the most dangerous. So remember your eye protection as well as your hearing protection.
Now, in addition to the safety gear, you'll want the other tools that you use close by. How I've accomplished that is by installing a piece of pegboard on the front of the table saw with some hangers. That way I can keep my miter guide, some C-clamps, even the wrenches I use to change the saw blade.
Also, you'll notice Alan has several of his push sticks. Now, push sticks basically just a small piece of wood with a notch on it. There's several different designs that carpenters use from time to time on the table saw, and what it allows you to do is to push smaller pieces of wood through the saw and keeps your fingers away from that saw blade.
Now, another idea you may want to use is just a foam float. That will grip your material very well, plus the handle makes it handy to push and keep your hand out of harm's way.
Now, it's very important to keep the deck on your table saw nice and clean so that that wood will move freely across the deck. Now, this one is an aluminum deck, so we don't have to worry about rust. But if you have a steel deck on your table saw, you need to keep all of that rust off of the deck.
Now, one way to accomplish that is just by putting a light layer of paste wax on the deck. Not only will this keep the water away from there, it'll also make the deck nice and smooth for your material to glide on.
Now, one of the things I've seen a lot of homeowners do, which is not a good idea, is to remove the saw blade cover and the anti-kickback device that comes as standard equipment on the table saw. Don't do this. Leave this in place. It prevents a lot of those common accidents you hear about in the workshop using a table saw.
Maintenance is always a big issue, so make sure with your fence you keep the channel and track free of debris, and then occasionally just spray some lubricant on both channel and track for good operation.
Now, if you follow these tips with your table saw, your cuts will be more accurate and your workshop will be a lot safer. An interior designer can really help you on a project like this one to maximize all the space you have available. Now, Marisa Smith helped these homeowners do just that with the new master bathroom. I see the layout here looks great.
Thanks. We've got a large whirlpool tub here. We were able to put in a standalone shower, and then we have a double bowl vanity with a separate water closet.
You know, one of the things I like about the design is how you were able to reallocate the space that originally was here, which was part of the master bedroom, and actually convert it to some pretty valuable space in here.
You're right. This was actually a transition area from the master bedroom into what was the existing closet. We were able to use some attic space that you talked about earlier to double the size of their closet, and by removing this wall, we were able to use the whole end for a large whirlpool tub. And then we use this transition area to put in a large standalone shower. And then down here we have a double vanity and then the separate water closet.
Now, this house is about 25 years old, and that was kind of a standard size master bathroom back then, but I'm sure you're seeing the same thing with your clients. People really want these larger spaces.
They do. Now people spend so much time in the bathroom in the mornings and the evenings that they really like it to be a pleasant place to be in rather than your standard 5x8 bathroom.
Okay. Now talk a little bit about the difference between interior designers and interior decorators. I know designers have to go to school a little longer.
Yes, they do. And actually an interior designer has a bachelor's degree in interior design where we are taught a lot of different things about drafting as well as the architectural side. We do space planning, we do lighting plans, the electrical part, and there's a lot of codes, regulations that you have to learn. And the kind of the icing on the cake is the end when you do the fabric and finish selections, wallpaper, paint, things like that, which is what most people think what designers do.
Right. Now, when should a homeowner get you involved in a project? Real early, I guess.
The best time is in the very beginning. If you can get us involved in the very beginning, it saves a lot of changes later on down the road and a lot of mistakes that you may have made, so it can actually save you money to have us in the beginning.
Okay. Now, you may hear contractors say from time to time that an interior designer can really complicate a job, but I'll tell you, they can really make it a lot easier by expediting all of the decisions that have to be made by homeowners and giving some advice all along the way. Well, I know you need to get back to the office for an appointment, and I'm going to show a little bit about some of the plumbing details. As Marisa mentioned earlier, this is the area of the remodeled master bathroom where the whirlpool will be positioned. Now, the old closet that was here was fairly good size, but perfect size for what we're using it for. The 6-foot length we have here is perfect for the tub that's going in, and then we have enough width that allowed us to build a little 1-foot shelf here on the back, and the tub cradle will be built along these lines on out, turn down, and we'll have a little step here that'll all be covered with the tile so that you can step into the whirlpool. But before anything started in this area of the job, the plumber had the difficult task of routing the 2-inch line from one side of the room all the way over back along to the other side. Now, I did this by drilling the series of holes and then inserting the 2-inch PVC pipe 15-inch lengths at a time, gluing all of that together. The reason for this, you really don't want to cut out much of that wood because it will affect the integrity of the floor since we're up on the 2nd story. Now, back around here, it'll continue on in and route over for the little water closet that we're building here, and the toilet will be positioned here, and we'll install a pocket door where you see this framework and this beam overhead. Now, when you have a pocket door, this particular one will be 2 foot wide. You have to have twice that space in order to have the pocket door frame being built inside this wall. They'll install that later today, and that'll enable them to continue on all of the drywall work. Then we have the 2 vanities that'll be positioned on this side. And you may notice the little recess here. We're actually recessing a medicine cabinet in this wall. The reason that we were not able to recess it as you normally would is because some of the plumbing that we have within this wall, because the hall bathroom is adjacent to this bathroom. Now, you may also notice some of the copper that's being saved up here. Now, all of this will be recycled instead of trying to be reused, because joining this to PVC pipe can be a bit of a challenge. Now, stay with us. Next is our best new product of the week, and later we'll be visiting a cultured marble showroom and manufacturing facility.
It's time to check out the Home Center for this week's best new product with Danny and today's Homeowner Magazine's editor-in-chief, Paul Spring.
Paul, I get a lot of comments from homeowners about the 1.6 toilets that were mandated a couple years ago, but I understand American Standard used those concerns in the design of this new toilet.
They did, Danny. There have been a number of technical improvements in the toilet. Let me show you inside and give you an idea. One of the complaints that was heard a lot was the low level of water in the bowl, and they've raised that. They've also created a more efficient system for using that meager 1.6 gallons to rinse out the bowl when it's being flushed. In addition, down in the trapway, that's a precast separate trapway. It's a little different in diameter and a little more efficient, and all of that just creates a better flush.
You know, one thing that I've also noticed is it's real sleek looking in the design that they have. It's a little different than the normal toilet.
It is, and again, in this case they went to consumers and they did a little more research and said, what are the problems that you see and how can we correct them? And in this case, a lot of it was cleanability. You can see here on the floor flange how it's easier to clean. The trapway isn't exposed as it often is in a 1.6 gallon. And overall, as a one-piece toilet, it's a very sleek design. It comes in 15 colors with either the elongated or the round bowl.
Okay. Now, of course, a one-piece toilet is going to be a little more expensive, but when you're remodeling a bathroom, it's worth it to put a good quality toilet in. Now, we're in the hall bathroom where a minor facelift is taking place. Basically here we're removing and replacing the wallpaper, replacing the ceramic floor, and using the existing cabinet and just putting new cabinet door fronts and drawer fronts on this. Once it's painted, it'll look brand new, especially when we install the new cultured marble top with the integrated bowl. Now, cultured marble, both on a vanity top as well as tub surrounds and many other usages, have become very popular choices for bathroom remodeling. The process to make cultured marble is pretty interesting. In a cultured marble manufacturing facility like this, they're taking raw marble dust and converting it into a finished product like these tubs. To talk about it's Howard Massengale. Howard, first of all, the makeup of cultured marble, what exactly is in a tub like this?
Well, actually, Danny, it's made of real marble dust, which is mined locally, and it's crushed up into a very fine powder, and gradated down real fine, and then mixed up with a 25% polyester resin mix so that it can be liquefied.
Okay, well I know in any process where you're mixing things, that's an important part of it right at the start, that has to be done right.
Oh yes, that's right, and in fact our pouring station is right around at the other end of the plant. Why don't we go take a look?
Okay, great.
Danny, this is the actual marble dust that we use in the process right here. And what we do with this, of course, is we take it and we add it to our marble mixer, which is nothing more than an industrial bread dough mixer. We put it in the mixer and we add the other components to it, the catalyst, the pigments, the other things, and by the way, we can pour many different colors. And we let it mix up very, very thoroughly. And there's a time that we use on that, and when it's done, we can take it and we can remove the pot from the station here and put it onto our transfer trolley. And the transfer trolley is then moved over to this pouring station. At that point, the marble matrix can be removed from the pot and put in the molds either by hand or by spatula. And these tables that you see here with these molds on it are actually vibrating tables. They vibrate while the mixing process and the pouring process is being done, and that's to give us a good dense product and remove all the air bubbles from the various parts.
Now Howard, let me ask you kind of a dumb question. Once this dries, how do you get it out of the forms?
Well, Danny, prior to pouring this mold, what we would do is take it back to our gel coat spray booth, and with an airless high-pressure sprayer, we would apply 15 to 20 mils of a clear gel coat. What that does is give it its finished look that you see on the finished product, and also it helps to aid in the release of the product from the mold when it's time to take it out.
Okay, now once it's removed, I noticed earlier that you had a couple of guys buffing out some of the finished panels.
That's right. What they're doing is removing any minor flaws or scratches that may be in the finished part of the product, and it can be easily removed with a buffer.
Okay. Now what are we looking at here? It looks like some type of backsplash.
Well, it can be used for a tub backsplash or for a windowsill application. This is a 10-foot length, 5 inches wide, and they can be cut into various lengths, whatever you happen to want, and the cut edges can be refinished with gel coat so that you get a completely finished product all the way around.
Okay, well that's one of the things that I've always liked about the cultured marble is it's very versatile. Everybody has seen the vanity tops that are used in a lot of bathrooms, but you can make almost anything with this. I know I see a tub back here and you have a shower pan over on that table. It's almost endless what you can create.
That's right. We can produce virtually any type of bathroom fixture, whirlpool tubs, showers, whatever.
Okay, all right. One of the things I really like whenever we can use them in a bathroom is a corner tub, large tub, and then the shower adjacent to it. I know you had one in your showroom. Really looks nice.
Yeah, those are very, very popular in this particular point in time, and they really are.
Okay. And once everything's installed, what about maintenance? That's a question I get all the time.
Well, I'll tell you, product is very, very easy to maintain. You would just use a very clear a liquid cleanser with no abrasive in it. That's the main thing that you want to avoid, just no abrasives. Any type of clear liquid cleanser will do a real good job on it.
Okay, great, Howard. Well, I appreciate you showing us around your facility here. It's always amazing seeing those raw materials turn out looking this nice. Stay with us. Next is Around the Yard.
Now for a bit of news from the great outdoors as Danny takes a look around the yard.
Backyard composting is an easy way to turn yard waste into food for your soil. Compost makes an excellent soil conditioner, loosens the texture of heavy clay soils, making them better for root development. Also, it helps light sandy soils retain water and nutrients. Now here's the 4 basic steps to making perfect compost. Chop your yard waste into small pieces. 3/4 to 1 inch is ideal. Then mix equal volumes of brown carbon-rich material and green high nitrogen materials. Alternate layers of brown and green matter so that each layer is about 2 to 8 inches deep. As you're layering, mix the materials with a shovel. The optimal size of a pile is 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. Then maintain the moisture by adding water as often as needed to keep the pile as moist as a sponge. Then turn the pile every week or so to speed decomposition. Well, all of the insulation in the walk-in closet has been completed, both on the ceiling area as well as on the walls, and it's ready to install that first sheet of drywall. Now, after all of the drywall has been installed and finished, we'll come back in with our closet rods, put some carpet down, be ready for the homeowners to move their clothes back in. I hope you see the value of an interior designer on a project like this to get them involved early to really help you make those crucial decisions. And if you need more information on interior design, remember our website at todayshomeowner.com. We'll see you next week.